I'm going to prove to you guys, for once and for all, that there is, in fact, no such thing as a long count in boxing. Now, unfortunately, certain podcasters such as Joe Rogan, who has a huge reach, has not done anything to dispel this myth. In fact, Joe Rogan, was willing to entertain the notion that Deontay Wilder was robbed of the first victory versus Tyson Fury due to a long count by the ref. I really wish Joe Rogan would do a little more research and delve into some of these ideas he has about boxing. But in any case, I'll give you the evidence right now. So, if you take a look at the Frank Sanchez versus Ajit Kabayel fight, that was on the undercard of Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk. Frank Sanchez, I think, was sort of the favorite on paper for sure to win, but he was upset by Kabayel, who managed to stop him, knock him out in the 7th round. So, in that round, when Sanchez got dropped for the second time, he was dropped right in the corner. And that just happened to be right where the official timekeeper was positioned. The official timekeeper is an official hired by the Boxing Commission who is outside of the ring at one of the tables that's ringside. And his job is to keep track of not just, say, the time for the rounds. In this case, I think there might be 2 official timekeepers, since it's a world-class affair. They probably have the budget for 2 timekeepers. So this gentleman's job might have been solely to count the 10 counts. So I'm going to put up a screenshot where you can see the referee's hands. The referee's issuing the count. I think he's got 7 showing on his fingers. He's in that green shirt, and he's inside the ring. And outside the ring, there's a fellow with silver hair and glasses, and he's giving the simultaneous count of 7 in this screenshot. So here's why there's no such thing as a long count, because the referee's not just willy-nilly starting to count as slow or fast as he feels like it. As soon as the referee indicates that there's a knockdown, he does so, and he has to also then tell the other fighter, hey, go to the neutral corner. He has to turn and direct that fighter to the neutral corner. He has to make sure that fighter is heading to the neutral corner, and then he turns back his attention to the down fighter to issue the count. If it's blatantly obvious that this fighter's out cold, then he might just wave it off right there. But in any case, if he's going to issue the account, by that time it's probably already at 4 or 5, and it's the official timekeeper on the outside of the ring who started the clock as soon as the ref indicated that this fighter is down. And the official timekeeper will stand up or make himself visible, and he will move his hand with the count and call it out. So, of course, you can imagine there's so much noise ringside, it might be difficult for the ref to hear, but at least he could see the official indicating what the count is, and then the referee just mirrors him and goes along simultaneously. So the official timekeeper is looking at a clock to call out the count. The referee is just conveying the exact same count to the fighter, and then, of course, to the viewing audience. But in this case of Sanchez versus Kabayel, it was just happened to be that since the TV camera was trained on Sanchez and the ref, it also caught the official timekeeper on the outside of the ropes. The official timekeeper is also in the frame, so here's the screenshot, but definitely go look at the footage. I'll put the link, it's to the footage in the description. But just so you understand where this whole sort of myth of the long count came from, the sort of original long count, or most famous one, was way back when Jack Dempsey fought Gene Tunney for the second time. So the first fight, Jack was world champion. Gene Tunney defeated him, I think fairly handily by decision, and then they had a rematch. And so now what happened there was Dempsey dropped Tunney, but Dempsey failed to go to the neutral corner. So officially, the time doesn't have to start, like the 10 count doesn't have to start until the other fighter's in the neutral corner. So that was sort of the delay of that count getting started. Now, in Tunney's defense, he started fighting when there was still no, head to the neutral corner rule. In fact, if you take a look, and I suggest you do, take a look at Gene Tunney? Jack Dempsey. Take a look at Jack Dempsey's fight versus Jess Willard. It's an incredible fight. Jack Dempsey was a very small heavyweight, even by standards back then. He was about 187. Whereas Jess Willard was like over 240 pounds. So now, in spite of that, Jack Dempsey managed to drop Jess Willard 7 times in the first round. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that because there was no head to the neutral corner. So Dempsey was able to hover over Willard while the referee gave the count. And then as soon as Willard got up to his feet and the count was over, Jack was right there like white on rice and could just start pummeling him again. And so I mean, down the road they put this rule in place where the other fighter can't hover over the down fighter, and they said, okay, now you've got to go to the farthest neutral corner, just to give the down fighter a chance to recoup after the count's issued. I'll assume that for Jack Dempsey in the Gene Tunney rematch, instinct just sort of kicked in, and he felt like, oh, I've got my chance, I'm going to hover right over the fighter, and then the referee's trying to, cajole him into going to the neutral corner so the count can start. And so I think that was kind of the beginning of this whole long count mythology. But in fact, if we go by the rule book, it wasn't really long. It was just that Jack Dempsey took a long time to head towards the neutral corner for the count to get started. But unfortunately, boxing fans or misinformed boxing enthusiasts and even some fighters, have tried to make the argument that, it's the ref's fault. They took too long to count, or they're counting too slowly, or and that's just, especially in today's era, that's just garbage, because there is an official timekeeper at every sanctioned professional boxing fight, and they keep that count, and the referee is following along with them. Now, 9 times, or probably 99 times out of 100, that official timekeeper never shows up on screen because the camera is going to be trained on the ref and the downed fighter. It just so happens in this particular fight with Sanchez and Cabello, lo and behold, Sanchez goes down right sort of in front of the official timekeeper. So he was caught on camera counting simultaneously with the referee, or vice versa. The referee's counting simultaneously with the official timekeeper. So, if you're ever faced with a bar bet where someone starts telling you about long counts and whatnot, just, now you got evidence. You can win your bar bet, get a few free beers or something. But please don't take my word for it. Check out the footage for yourself so you can see this count being issued simultaneously by the referee in the ring and the official timekeeper on the outside. So What's your favorite fighter excuse for a long count? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for listening.